Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Captain America 4 because we have some really exciting news, guys. It's on track to do better than the Marvels. And
wow.
Yeah, it might be on par with Eternals.
Wow, what a win.
Yeah, so this is a massive win, guys. This thing is going to be a huge success. We're actually going to talk about it because there's not a lot of buzz. And a lot of people, I think they thought the movie came out already.
Mm-hmm.
The toys were
care.
No, I don't think they care. The toys were out at McDonald's like 6 months ago. And yeah, it keeps trending downward. Now, do I think it's going to be a massive box office bomb? I think it's going to be mid. I think it's going to be underwhelming. I don't know if it's going to fail as hard as the Marvels, but who the hell knows? So we're going to talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Check out clownfish-.com. We've got some exclusive merchandise out there. You can join the Plus Club or Minus Club as it is, and you can also join that here on YouTube and on Locals. Thank you very much for the support. Yeah, so I've been watching this, and I wasn't really paying much attention until we noticed how desperate they seem with the marketing, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're really pushing the Marvel Rivals and the popcorn buckets and all this other stuff.
The Marvel Rivals was weird. You know, you can only opening weekend if you go to, I think it was Regal, you can get the special Marvel Rivals deal and everything else, but only opening weekend, guys. That's it. Only opening.
Only opening weekend. So, yeah, now we're starting to figure out why all of a sudden, just a couple weeks out, they're getting kind of desperate. And they said the film is currently performing 1.4 times better than the Marvels.
That's not great.
And is on par with Eternals.
Not good.
A comic book movie. This is not an alt-right site by any means. Comicbookmovie.com says Captain America Brave New World ticket pre-sales are ahead of the Marvels, but they're behind Ant-Man 3.
That's not good. Those are both bombs. Like those are both considered bombs. I mean, Marvel's obviously a much more significant bomb, but they're both considered bombs of 2023.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's saying it's doing better than the Marvels. I'm like, that was literally the worst box office in recent history for the MCU. So, yeah,
this is the most Disney thing ever, though. Good news first, guys. It's better than the Marvels,
right? So this isn't coming from like one of those right-wing chud sites either. This is coming from Luis Fernando. He is a box office analyst. He said ticket sales are 1.4 times better than the Marvels and the Joker sequel. Well, that's not saying much.
Oh, no.
And they're about on par with Eternals, but nowhere near Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay, this is not good.
This is not good at all.
This is not good. They said it doesn't seem like the best start. That said, we were only talking about a few days of pre-sales, true. And it's still on track for 86 million, 95 million debut. I don't think it's gonna, but who knows? I'm sure Disney will find a way. Hey guys, hey, if you sign up here for $5, you can get, a free movie, a free ride to the movie, free popcorn at the movie, like they did with Captain Marvel.
Yeah. This is not good. And they're actually being optimistic. They're saying like 86 to 95 over.
That's what they've been saying, but they haven't changed it. And I bet you it's gone down.
It has. Screen Rant has 80 million plus debut.
Yeah, I heard it was, they have 81 to 107. That's the initial one I had heard it's a huge range.
I mean, for any other franchise, that would be pretty good. But again, we're talking about the MCU and we're seeing like massive decline. And the only thing that's going to save them, I think, at this point is probably Fantastic Four. And if Fantastic Four underwhelms, I don't even know if Secret Wars is going to bring people out. I'm going to be honest.
Well, no. If Fantastic Four sucks, it's not. I think Fantastic Four is like their best shot this year for Marvel.
And they should be, I'm going to be honest, they should be promoting the hell out of Fantastic Four, and they're not. They're not really promoting it. I think they wanted to wait until
That's
after.
July, isn't it? Into July sometime. And then the Thunderbolts is supposed to be out in May, I think. And you've seen a couple things about, exactly. You've seen a couple things for it, but I think most people don't even care.
Yeah.
The other one they care about maybe is Fantastic Four, and we're not seeing anything. And if it sucks, they're screwed.
I love that they're dancing around the issue. They're dancing around the issue. Anticipation for Sam Wilson's big screen debut as the Sentinel of Liberty does seem to have been somewhat muted, which can probably be attributed to a number of factors, including mixed negative test screening reports and underwhelming plot leak details.
Yeah, and they had to redo the story too because it did not fly. No pun intended.
But he does fly, okay?
No,
that's his superpower. Plus, we can't ignore the fact that, for whatever reason, a lot of fans simply haven't embraced Wilson taking up the Captain America mantle from Steve Rogers.
Because you've only ever seen him in one thing like that, and that was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and people just didn't watch it because you have to have Disney Plus subscription to watch it. And when it debuted, a lot of people didn't have Disney Plus, and even since then, a lot of people just don't care.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to go well. I mean, I really wasn't paying much attention. I'm like, you know what? I don't even have enough give a shit about this to hate on it.
That's why it's not going. People, I think, all feel like that. They're so over it.
Yeah, so they're saying early box office tracking indicate a debut domestic opening range between 81 and 107. That's a pretty broad.
That's just it. They've been saying that for a while. When I first did the first article I did on it for Pirates and Princesses, that was what they were telling people then. And that was a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe longer. And I said the same thing. It's an awfully broad estimate because you're talking like 26 million in there. Mm. That's a huge, range, but then it dropped down.
This is funny though. They're really trying to do some damage control over here on Screen Rant. They're like, just remember, guys, the first Captain America film opened at the lower end at $65 million. Yeah, when the MCU was new, and back then $65 million went a lot farther than it does now.
Well, if it opens that low for this, they're going to beat and crow because $65 million now is significantly more. Like you said, the Marvel means something a lot more now than it did then.
Oh yeah. The Winter Soldier debuted with a $95 million domestic. Again, people were still interested in the MCU. Civil War did 179. Civil War was basically an Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the truth. Civil War was an Avengers movie. So yeah, that totally makes sense. Plus it was the debut of Spider-Man in the MCU. So that was huge. A lot of people went for that. But they're like, I love this though. They said, as such, Captain America Brave New World may not measure up to the heights of the Captain America franchise, but it will probably be a medium performer in terms of domestic opening.
So it's mid.
So it's mid. They're like, it's going to outperform Paddington in Peru.
Well, then you have that.
You have that.
So wait, let me get this straight. So it's not going to be as bad as the Marvels, they hope, but it's not anywhere near Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is considered a bomb too. And it's going to do better than Paddington in Peru. That's their.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so does most everything else. Paddington in Peru is supposed to only get 16 to 25 million. That's your.
Yeah.
That's just sad.
They're
we
like,
don't even know yet.
Moreover, it's going to avoid underperforming like the Marvels did.
Yeah, the Marvels was terrible. They hope. Oh my God, if it comes in that low, they said it's probably going to be better than that. But yeah.
So the good news is it's going to be better than the Marvels. The bad news is it's currently tracking worse than Ant-Man 3, which was a huge dud. And I, honest to God, until now, I forgot that movie existed.
And it's going to come in around Eternals, which is also a huge dud. They blamed that one on the pandemic.
Yeah, well, this one actually ties into the Eternals too, which is weird.
Well, yeah, I did see that. But then I'm like, my next thing is though, are you going to blame? Are you going to try? No, guys, it's not the pandemic. It's because of the writer's strike that was 2 years ago.
The writer's strike, and then racism. It'll be racism, and it's like, look, it doesn't matter if it's a black guy or a white guy. He's not Steve Rogers. People want Steve Rogers as Captain America. Sam Wilson is a fine sidekick. He's okay for Falcon. If it was a Falcon movie, even, it'd be like, okay, it's Falcon. But a lot of people, plus you had to have seen the Disney Plus show.
I think it's more about not seeing the Disney Plus show. And yes, they know that he's Captain America now because he's on the poster. Yes, no one's saying that's not the case because idiots are trying to argue that. They're like, well, you're just saying they don't know who he is. He's on the poster. I'm like, no, what I'm saying is that a lot of people didn't watch the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which explains a lot more about how he got to where he is and why he's Captain America now more and stuff like that. That explained it. Most people didn't watch it because they don't care.
I think, talking about that too. I mean, I'm looking at the demographics of Marvel, and we had a whole generation of kids grow up with Marvel being their Star Wars, and now they've aged out of it and they don't care.
That's true.
They don't care anymore. I mean, you have a lot of people in their 20s now that they just don't care. Like they watched all these movies when they were kids and teenagers. And even our son, I mean, he was definitely the demographic for the MCU, and he's even like, he can take or leave it. He
does watch some MCU. I mean, his friends more into it.
His friends are into it more than he is, though. But it's like, some of I don't know. It's just,
he went to see the Marvels though, and he said, to be fair, which ironically was mostly a male demographic. He went to see it because his friend wanted to see it, and he said it was better than the first one. So there's that.
Not saying much.
I know. Okay. I mean, it's a low bar, but he's like, it's better than the first one.
First one was actually so weird. The first one was a competent movie that just the word of mouth around it was just awful.
It's not even that. Brie Larson was like a
she was the worst part of the movie.
She was.
I mean, the movie itself was fine. If they had somebody else playing Captain Marvel, I think it would have been fine. But
she had more personality in the Marvels apparently, and she did a much better job in that one, but no one watched it.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people are going to watch this either. I think it just feels like, I mean, they have a lot of movies coming out before Fantastic Four, and it just feels like they're trying to like crap out the rest of the Marvel movies they had in the pipeline, this one and the Thunderbolts, and then they're like, yeah, we know these aren't going to be great, but Fantastic Four leading into Secret Wars, that's where our money is going to be. And
that's what people are going to care about, but if they don't deliver, they're screwed. I mean, the only one thing people care about this year is Fantastic Four. And if they don't deliver, then, which they might, because they got the Russo brothers back and everything else, but if they don't deliver, they're toast.
I know people are gonna be like, told you so, but I'm actually cautiously optimistic about Fantastic Four. I like where they're going with the whole retro futuristic space age 60s look.
I like that, but I haven't seen enough to even
No.
That's just it. Like, I seen the trailers for this and I'm like, Thunderbolts, I saw it, I'm like, like I know I don't really care. Like, I haven't seen enough from that to even say to form an opinion. Other than the art, the basic art they gave you.
I am guessing. Well, they have the San Diego teaser now. I don't know if that's going to be the actual trailer or what, but
I don't think so. It seemed like they were just like kind of,
people were like, are they
animated
like
stuff in there?
AI images that they just like threw together.
That's how it kind of felt like.
Yeah, I mean, there was
some. Can't really tell.
I don't know. We'll see, but it's like, so pretty much everything I think is riding on Fantastic Four at this point because the Fantastic Four lands with a thud. And the thing is, Ant-Man was a hugely important movie because it established Kang, and then they got to walk that back already. And they're like, let's just go get Robert Downey Jr. Let's just go get him back. Make him a bad guy and see how
back too. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know, right? It's like I've changed my mind. Yeah, I know why you changed your mind. It's called money. It's called money.
Yeah,
money.
I wonder how much they gave Robert Downey Jr. for.
I think it was like $200 million or some crazy amount of money. It was high.
So maybe mistakes were made. Maybe if you listen to your audience, you wouldn't be in this position. But I'm just saying. And by position, I mean butt up in the air, face down.
Yeah. So anyway, let's wrap this one up, guys. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.